Hey guys, it's Ken Vellante with Coldwater Strong, and what is Coldwater Strong up to these days? Well, we're introducing our brand new bank rod holders for 2023. Now, I've been wanting to produce these in regards to the different techniques of how we fish on the Columbia River, and we're also used to the traditional pole holders that we always make out of PVC, aluminum, and all of that, and drive a concrete stake into it and drive this in there. But as you can see, it's a lot shorter on there. So what makes my rod holder a lot more innovative? Well, solve the problems of different angles that we like to set our rod angles out on the rivers versus salmon at 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock to really put a load on that fish. Or if we're going to fish sockeye or steelhead, sometimes we want to just angle our rod tip out a little flat so we can lay that line right across some of those sandy flat bottoms, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet straight from the bank. And so when you do that, you can't really have the versatility unless you angle this out like this on the sand, and guess what happens? Fish starts tugging and it falls down, and I've been in the situation where my rod just flies out and it starts taking off into the water. I'm running like a bat out of hell just to grab it. So anyways, with the fish on. To solve that problem here at Coldwater Strong, basically we have installed a fully adjustable Fulby rod holder in all of these. As you can see, this is my first run right here. From here to here, I have 100 for the first run for the Sportsman show and to ship out to a few of the stores locally. But let's go through a few of the features of what we have on this rod holder. I wanted to build this thing to last, and I didn't want a product that's going to go out there. So this is solid steel construction. We have a straight steel rod down here, and the reason why I went with that is that if you're up at Bonneville, you can actually pound these into the rocks. It's real rocky up there. Some of the other areas down below, it gets really rocky, and those angle irons in aluminum or steel, you just start beating the heck out of them, and they just don't drive as well. So then we have the square piece there, so when you're on the sand, so basically just like this right here, it won't twist in the sand, so that will give you the opportunity so that rod doesn't twist when you load up the rod. Another feature is that we mounted this to mount the rod holder on there. And here's another thing: how many times have you beat the shit out of your rod holders and you start mushrooming the top of these? And so I wanted to also solve that problem. So we got some really good head on this that is very reliable not to mushroom. And they're all welded construction all the way through. And the last thing is we went ahead, since it's all a steel construction, it's all been powder coated so that it's rust proof. And then we mount all of these on here with stainless steel screws right onto here with the reliable Fulby rod holders on there. Now these are not the juniors; these are the larger version of it, and there's a reason why we went with that. The juniors didn't really have the capacity to hold a lot of these other rods and reels. So right here on this sample right here, we have the Fulby rod holder that actually can open up. You can lock it in place. But the great thing about this, we're going to go salmon fishing, so I just adjusted the head right there at 1 o'clock and put in your custom rods. And that's another thing. Have you ever been fishing with this? You just bought yourself a really nice $300-400 rod, or even a $200 rod, it doesn't matter, and you put this into here, and over a course of time, this starts really just digging into your rope. It starts digging into your foam, and after 1 year, you'll still start scarring your rods up. And when you're investing this much money into bank rods, this just seems to just damage it. And so basically, that's what another advantage for that. But we'll get back here, and this is very simple. You just open it up, and you set your rod in there, just like a rod holder in a bank on the boat. So now you have your rod position at 1 o'clock. If you're going to run for steelhead, you just basically unscrew that, and you can adjust it to any degree that you want. Now we can run steelhead that way, or even sockeye. But the advantages of this is this: when we're on the bank and you got a really nice Chinook on, say now coming up spring Chinook or summer Chinook, traditionally you're going to have to run these, and you got your rod holder and you got your rod in here like this, and you get a fish on and it's up like that. You got to pull it out, and then you're creating slack, and then you set the hook or run back with it. With the Phobie rod holders that's installed with this, basically all you got to do is just grab it and run. It releases the whole rod, but it will not release out when the fish is fighting. Even when you're up at the 1 o'clock position of the rod holder, let me get this back out here, and you just adjust it, tighten it back down, you're back up at the 1 o'clock position. Same thing, the rod's going off, you got a Chinook on, all you got to do is run down there, grab it from the bottom, grab it from the top, and you are out and running back like that. There's no lifting up, which creates that slack. Barbless on the Columbia River, then you're starting to go back. So that's one of the advantages I really like about this, and I've been meaning to develop this and get it all done for you guys out there, so that any advantage we can get on the bank especially. But if you look at this is 48 inches long. And why is it so long? Because we want the opportunity to have this. I have a couple tall friends when we were developing this, so we made it actually a little bit taller, so that when you're running up to the rod, it's at your hip level or stomach level, instead of reaching down and trying to pull something out, and you're just grabbing from here and going back with your rod, and then it releases, and then you can fight the fish. But guys, this is the new product for 2023. I'll be having this at the Sportsman show in Puyallup, Portland, and the Salem, and the Redmond show. This is my first 100 that we just got completed making, and so it's going to be a limited amount for the first run, and then I'm going to see how things go with it, and I hope you enjoy it. We spent some time trying to design this rod holder so that it accommodates all the different, you're in the beach, so this is a surf rod, and with even if you guys like spin casting, same thing, grab it and go. You know, you can still adjust this at any position. If you're fishing for steelhead, any kind of rods, even the common rods that you have for the boats, these fit really nice in there. There's a little trigger right here. They have trigger holes in here. It fits really well. Your reel can fit in here. Same thing, you're up and going again, setting the hook on the fish for the bank fishing. On this, it also has a lock on there on this side. So if you guys are not familiar with Phobies, I run Phobies on my boat, and you can actually lock it in, but I wouldn't recommend it while you're fishing. If you're traveling around or you just want to lock the rod in there, that's great. So, because maybe you might forget to unlock it and you get a fish on and you're scrambling around. So anyways, the design, the functionality, the quality, all produced here in the Northwest in Vancouver, Washington, from local welders and powder coating companies and steel companies. We put it all together. Hopefully you guys will like it, and thank you so much for all your support. Come and see these at the Sportsman show, and I'll see you there.